Nikki Bella just made the most shocking return in WWE history and left Stephanie Vaquer laid out with the Women's World Championship. The Fearless One is back, and she just sent a message that has the entire women's division on high alert. If you think you know what's coming next, you're absolutely wrong. Let's break down this jaw-dropping attack right now. What's happening? Wrestling vs. Family. Welcome back to the channel that brings you the most explosive wrestling coverage on the internet. Before we dive into this insane moment, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on those notifications because things are about to get crazy in WWE. Now let's get into this unbelievable situation. Friday night changed everything for the WWE Women's Division. Stephanie Vaquer was standing tall in the ring, the Women's World Championship gleaming on her shoulder, fresh off another incredible title defense. She was addressing the WWE Universe, talking about her journey, her accomplishments, and how she's proven herself as one of the most dominant champions in recent memory. The crowd was showing her respect. Stephanie Vaquer has earned every bit of recognition she's received. Since arriving in WWE, she's been nothing short of spectacular. Her technical prowess, her striking ability, her heart, her determination, everything about her screams champion. She's defended the title against the best competitors WWE has to offer, and she's done it with style and excellence. But then, the unthinkable happened. Music hit that nobody expected to hear. The arena absolutely erupted as Nikki Bella made her way through the curtain for the first time in years. The Fearless One was back, and the look on her face told everyone that this wasn't a friendly reunion. This was business, and business was about to get brutal. Let me take you back for a moment. Nikki Bella is a two-time Divas champion and one of the most influential women in WWE history. She was part of the revolution that transformed women's wrestling in WWE. She main evented shows, she broke barriers, and she proved that women could be the biggest draws in the company. Her legacy in WWE is absolutely undeniable. When Nikki stepped away from WWE, she left behind a Hall of Fame career. She conquered everything there was to conquer. Championships, WrestleMania moments, historic matches, record-breaking title reigns. Nikki Bella did it all. So the question on everyone's mind was, why is she back? And more importantly, why is she targeting Stephanie Vaquer? The tension in that arena was electric. Stephanie Vaquer stood in the ring, championship on her shoulder, staring at this returning legend. You could see the wheels turning in her head. Was this a challenge? Was this a respectful acknowledgement from one champion to another? Was Nikki coming back to pass the torch to the new generation? We got our answer quickly, and it was not what anyone expected. Nikki Bella walked down that ramp with purpose. She stepped into the ring, and for a moment, it looked like she was going to offer a handshake, a sign of respect between two champions from different eras. Stephanie Vaquer, being the professional she is, extended her hand. That's when everything went sideways. Nikki Bella grabbed that hand, pulled Stephanie Vaquer close, and delivered a vicious forearm that dropped the champion instantly. The crowd gasped in shock. This was not a respectful return. This was an attack. This was a statement. But Nikki wasn't finished. Not even close. She picked up the Women's World Championship, the title that Stephanie Vaquer has carried with such pride, and she held it high above her head. The message was crystal clear. Nikki Bella didn't come back to reminisce about the past. She came back to reclaim what she believes should be hers. She came back to prove that she's still the most fearless woman in WWE. What happened next was absolutely brutal. Nikki Bella unleashed an assault on Stephanie Vaquer that was relentless and unforgiving. She drove the champion into the corner and delivered a series of forearms that echoed throughout the arena. Every shot was delivered with bad intentions. Every strike was meant to send a message not just to Stephanie Vaquer, but to every woman in that locker room. Stephanie Vaquer tried to fight back. She's a fighter, she's a champion, and she wasn't going to go down without defending herself. She fired back with strikes of her own, connecting with some hard shots that momentarily staggered Nikki. The crowd rallied behind the champion, chanting her name, willing her to overcome this unexpected assault. But Nikki Bella has been in too many wars, has too much experience, and was too focused on her mission. She cut off Stephanie's comeback with a knee to the midsection that doubled the champion over. Then, In a moment that will be replayed thousands of times, Nikki Bella lifted Stephanie Vaquer and planted her with a devastating rack attack right in the center of the ring. The impact was sickening. Stephanie Vaquer crashed to the mat and wasn't moving. The crowd was in complete shock. Some fans were booing, outraged at this attack on their champion. Others were cheering, excited to see Nikki Bella back and making such a massive impact. The arena was divided, but everyone was talking about what they just witnessed. Nikki Bella wasn't done sending her message. She picked up the Women's World Championship again, this time standing over the fallen champion. She held that title high, letting everyone in the building and everyone watching around the world know exactly what she wants. That championship. That spotlight. That position at the top of the women's division. Then, in perhaps the most disrespectful moment of all, Nikki Bella placed the championship belt on Stephanie Vaquer's motionless body and walked out of the ring. The symbolism was powerful and disturbing. She was telling Stephanie Vaquer to enjoy being champion while she still can, because Nikki Bella is coming for that title, and she will not be denied. Officials and medical personnel rushed to the ring to check on Stephanie Vaquer. The champion was hurt, there was no question about that. But knowing Stephanie's fighting spirit, knowing her heart and determination, you have to believe she's already planning her revenge. You have to believe she's not going to let this attack go unanswered. Let's talk about what this means for the WWE Women's Division. Nikki Bella's return changes everything. She's a legitimate star, a proven draw, and someone who commands attention whenever she's on screen. Her presence alone elevates the entire division. Add in the fact that she just brutally attacked the Women's World Champion, and you've got the recipe for an explosive rivalry. The question everyone is asking is, why now? Why did Nikki Bella choose this moment to return? There are several theories floating around. Some people believe Nikki saw Stephanie Vaquer's rise and felt disrespected that a new generation was being celebrated while veterans like her were being forgotten. Others think Nikki simply missed the competition and wanted one more run at the top. Whatever the reason, Nikki Bella has made her intentions crystal clear. She wants the Women's World Championship. She wants to prove that the new generation hasn't surpassed the legends who built this division. She wants to show that experience, toughness, and fearlessness will always triumph over youth and athleticism. From Stephanie Vaquer's perspective, this has to be infuriating. She's worked incredibly hard to reach this position. She's proven herself against the best competitors in WWE. She's carried that championship with pride and defended it successfully multiple times. And now, a returning legend attacks her from behind and tries to take everything she's built. You can bet Stephanie Vaquer is going to demand retribution. She's going to want a match. She's going to want the opportunity to prove that she belongs at the top of this division, that she earned her position, and that no returning legend is going to take that away from her. The champion has been challenged, and she's going to respond with everything she has. The match possibilities here are incredible. Nikki Bella versus Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship could be an absolute classic. You've got the veteran with all the experience and mind games against the younger, hungrier champion who has nothing to lose and everything to prove. The contrast in styles, the contrast in careers, the contrast in motivations, it all adds up to a potentially epic rivalry. Think about the storytelling opportunities. Nikki could play the disrespected veteran who feels the new generation doesn't appreciate what the previous generation built. Stephanie could be the fighting champion who refuses to bow down to anyone, regardless of their legacy. You could have promos where they debate who's more deserving, who's worked harder, and who represents the division better. The WWE universe is already split on this. Some fans are thrilled to see Nikki Bella back and believe she deserves another championship run. They remember her legendary career and think she's earned the right to return and compete at the highest level. They're excited about the star power and name recognition she brings to any rivalry. Other fans are firmly behind Stephanie Vaquer. They see her as the future of the division, someone who represents the evolution of women's wrestling. They don't want to see her overshadowed by a returning star from the past. They want Stephanie to retain her championship and prove that the current generation is just as talented, if not more talented, than previous generations. This debate is what makes wrestling so compelling. There's no clear right or wrong answer. Both perspectives are valid, and that's what creates passionate fan engagement. Everyone has an opinion, Everyone has a favorite, and everyone will be watching to see how this plays out. From a business perspective, this is brilliant for WWE. Nikki Bella is a mainstream star with name recognition beyond wrestling. Her return generates media attention, social media buzz, and mainstream coverage. Pairing her with a rising star like Stephanie Vaquer creates the perfect blend of established star power and fresh talent. The women's division just got infinitely more interesting. You've got the champion who's been attacked and embarrassed. You've got the returning legend who's making power moves. And you've got an entire locker room of talented women who are watching this situation unfold and wondering how it affects their own championship aspirations. Could we see other women get involved in this rivalry? Could former rivals of Nikki Bella come to Stephanie Vaquer's aid? Could we see a faction form around either woman? The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes this so exciting to speculate about and anticipate. One thing is certain. Nikki Bella proved tonight that she hasn't lost a step. The intensity was there, the physicality was there, and the confidence was there. She looked like the same dominant force that ruled the women's division for years. If this is the Nikki Bella we're going to get moving forward, the entire roster should be on notice. For Stephanie Vaquer, this is the biggest challenge of her championship reign. Being attacked by a legend, being left laid out in the middle of the ring, having your championship disrespected, these are the moments that define champions. How she responds to this adversity will determine not just whether she keeps her title, but what kind of legacy she ultimately builds in WWE. The storyline writes itself from here. Stephanie Vaquer will demand a match. Nikki Bella will accept, but probably add some stipulations or conditions. There will be confrontations, there will be interference, there will be twists and turns. And when these two finally meet in the ring for that championship, it's going to be explosive. We also can't forget about the rest of the women's division. How do talents like Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, and all the other top women view this situation? Do they see an opportunity? Do they want to prove themselves against Nikki Bella? Do they want to defend the champion? There are so many directions this could go. The attack itself was perfectly executed from a storytelling standpoint. It was shocking, it was brutal, and it immediately established Nikki Bella as a serious threat. There was no comedy, no hesitation, just pure aggression. That's how you make an impactful return. That's how you immediately insert yourself into the main event picture. Social media has been absolutely on fire since this happened. Wrestling fans from around the world are sharing their reactions, debating who's in the right, and predicting what happens next. That's the kind of buzz that every wrestling company wants. That's the kind of moment that reminds everyone why they love this business. Looking ahead to the next few weeks, every appearance by either woman is going to be must-see television. When Stephanie Vaquer gets a microphone, what is she going to say? How is she going to respond to this disrespect? When Nikki Bella cuts her first promo explaining her actions, what reasoning will she give? The anticipation is building, and that's exactly what great wrestling does. This is also a reminder that in WWE, legends can return at any time and shake up the entire landscape. Veterans who built this company can come back and remind everyone why they're legends in the first place. That unpredictability is part of what makes WWE so entertaining. You never know who's going to show up or what they're going to do. For fans who have followed Nikki Bella's career from the beginning, this return is incredibly special. For fans who have only recently discovered Stephanie Vaquer and fallen in love with her work, this is a chance to see her tested against one of the all-time greats. Everyone wins when two talented performers of different generations collide. Alright, wrestling vs. family, that's the complete breakdown of this shocking attack. Nikki Bella is back. Stephanie Vaquer has been put on notice, and the Women's World Championship picture just got a whole lot more interesting. Now I want to hear from you. Who are you supporting in this rivalry? Team Nikki Bella or Team Stephanie Vaquer? Do you think Nikki deserves another championship run, or should Stephanie retain and prove she's the best? What kind of match do you want to see between these two? Drop all your thoughts, predictions, and reactions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, show some love by hitting that like button. It helps the channel tremendously and lets me know you want more content like this. Share this video with your wrestling friends who need to know about this incredible moment. And if you're not already subscribed to Wrestling vs. CC, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our coverage of the biggest moments in WWE. Thank you so much for watching Wrestling vs. Family. The women's division just got taken to another level, and we're going to be covering every single moment of this rivalry as it unfolds. Stay tuned, stay hyped, and remember that in WWE, anything can happen. Until next time, keep supporting your favorites, keep the conversation going, and keep watching Wrestling vs. CC for the best wrestling content on YouTube. This is your host signing off. See you in the next one.